What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Hope y'all are doing well. What's going on, everybody? Yo. What's going on? Bugaboo already getting the answer in. Hey, we had some love before I even got here. Let's see what we got. Rudy, thank you for the 4 months. Let's get through this back end stuff. I agree. Let's get through this back end stuff. We're gonna get through it together. I appreciate the 4 months of Prime. Whew. It's been all those Bezos bucks. Dab Gang in full of force. Did you see the numbers today? That's wild. 62, and I know there was more in the stream. 62 folks coming over from Dab Gang. Hey, hope y'all had a good stream before this one. 71 peak. Yeah, let's go. We had a awesome raid on Sunday. Y'all should be followed up now. Let's go. We got some other people in here. Funny commentary with the 7 months. None's the word. Hey, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Honduran with the 7 months. Hey, everyone. Hey, indeed. Thank you so much. Hey, Reggie with the 6 months. 6 months ago, I would never have imagined I would know as much as I do now about coding. Thanks, Leon. I appreciate that. That makes the day, right? Never imagined I would have known this much about coding as I do now. Hey, let's go, Reggie. Thank you for being here. Okay, Kvideo. Hey, thank you so much for the 4 months of Prime. Let's keep it going. I'm about to sign a contract to tweet for a tech company 10 hours a week. Hey, let's go. It pays as much as my last full-time job in construction. Holy smokes. That's wild, Sam. Congrats. That is wild. Congratulations. That's huge. Imagine having a full-time job that you now make the same at 10 hours a week. What? That's wild. That's the power, folks. That's the power of tech right here. Let's go. Dab was working on some. What were we working on? We did objects, destructuring, event emitters, and listeners, and tied it up all talking about how our server is a big event listener. Exactly. Let's go. I'm glad y'all got some good review in. With the 5 gifted subs. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go. This is wild. Hold on. We need some vibes. This is wild. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Not surprised, though. You're a Twitter master. They have definitely mastered the art of Twitter. It's wild. Good job, Sam. That's so cool to hear. Reggie, I'm glad that you shared that too. That warms my soul. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. We got some fun stuff to get to tonight. We're going to put the U in CRUD. We're going to put the U in CRUD. We're going to get our apps updating. We're going to add likes to the rap name application. We're going to take our time going through everything. So tonight, we got some few quick slides to get through, but tonight's really all about spending time trying to understand what the heck's going on, right? We're trying to understand, what is this EJS thing? What is this CRUD API thing? How does our whole application come together? But by the end of tonight, you can build like whatever you want. You'll now have the ability to create, read, update, delete. And I know it's hard to see that vision, but I guarantee you it's not much more than what we already have on the table. So we're going to get through what's on the table. We're going to make sure it makes sense. We're going to do it again on Thursday. On Sunday, we're going to review everything. As long as it takes, we're going through the whole thing again. So you will make it to this other side. This will make sense. It's just going to take a little bit of time. A little bit of time. Just a little bit of time. And we'll get there. Try, cry, repeat. Hey. That's a good one. That needs to be like a t-shirt for sure. That's the coding t-shirt of choice. How y'all doing? I rewatched Thursdays and reread the full Stack JS chapter. It makes sense now. Hey, I love to hear that, Count. That's good to hear. Oh, crud. Love the hoodie, my dude. Thank you. It felt like hoodie day. Felt like a hoodie day. I remember when we had this combo with JavaScript. And look where you're at now. Look where you're at now. Remember when you were all wilding out about variables? We were wilding out about a function. Oh, this is like right in my face. Nope. You remember that? Remember that not too long ago? Look at you now. Would you look at it? Would you look at you now? I did everything but got stuck deploying. That's a hard part. That's a hard part. We'll get there. Got a recruiter message me on LinkedIn. I'm kind of interested in hearing more about opportunities. What should I write back? Hey, just respond. Hey, I'm looking for. I'm glad you reached out. Thank you for reaching out, and take it from there. Right. The recruiter does this all day long. The recruiter does this all day. You send a response, they're gonna follow up with you and take it from there. Yeah, the recruiters. It's gonna get wild, folks. It's gonna get wild. I have a canned response that I share. I think on Friday we'll have like a Friday class all about how to talk to recruiters and how to start really managing your hit list. We have the hit list. We're gonna start adding to it, but we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of like how to manage that process probably next week. Yeah, because we're starting to get closer and closer to the point where we're gonna start actually thinking seriously about the application stages. We're not there yet, but we're going to get there soon. Panic and send an inappropriate meme. How many poker cards are left? There's a lot left. Hey, Funny. Thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. If an engineer from another company adds me on LinkedIn but doesn't message me, should I message them? Sure. Why not? Doesn't hurt. Right? Doesn't hurt. Send them a message. Hey, like what you guys are doing. There you go. What are you guys building? We are building a rap name app where you can enter in a rapper's stage name, their birth name, and then you can upvote or downvote. You can upvote the ones you like, and you can delete some of them. And so we're gonna get all of our basic CRUD functionality in tonight. We're gonna be able to create stuff. We're gonna be able to read stuff. We're gonna be able to update stuff. We're gonna be able to delete stuff. Let's go. I'll hit 50K micro on the stream. Hey, let's go. We got to get a YOLO in then. You either get across it or you lose it all. Let's go. I didn't get my channel points for raiding. Do you have to be a sub to get those? No, as long as you hang out for the raid and join us with the raid, you should get your points. Make sure you kind of just stayed with this. I think you have to stay at the stream for a minute or something like that. But as long as you stayed for a little bit, you should have gotten them. Yeah. Will there be another break before the end of boot camp? Or are we going to go all the way through? We might try and sneak in. We're going to sneak in some project time. So it won't necessarily be a break, but it'll be project time. So you'll have time to like work on your 100 hours project. The goal is that we might not kind of have to be here for class, but you'll be getting some project time in. So we'll do that. Yeah, we're shooting for the end of May. End of May is the goal. We got a couple big more topics to get through. We got to get through some more of this full stack node stuff, but we're close, folks. It's really not that much more. We're gonna add authentication next week, and like that's all you really need to know. We're gonna add authentication and image uploading, and then you can build whatever you want. Then it's just getting down to the nitty gritty and building. So once we get through that, we are gonna add React into the mix, just because it's super in demand. And then you'll be ready to roll. After that, it's just interview prep, prepping our data structures and our algorithms, starting to take our code wars and our leak codes even more seriously than we already are. And it's just time to start the hunt. So that's it. Hey, Kai, I appreciate that. Thank you. Alrighty, folks, let's get into it. Thank you all for being here. Let's jump right into them. I'm going to go to Little Leon here. We're going to get right into the slides here. All right. So we are going to talk a little bit about 100 devs as we always do. Then we are going to jump into CRUD. We're going to review CRUD. We're going to review Express. We're going to relearn our post and our delete, and we're going to add our, I forgot to add the update here. And I forgot the update. We're going to learn our U. We're going to put the U in CRUD today. And then the homework was for you to build your own app. You should have made some progress on that. And then the homework will be to finish building your own app and to build a to-do list app. So that's the goal. That's the goal for today. Let's review CRUD. Let's get the updating in. Let's spend time talking through everything in detail. Make sure folks are feeling comfortable. Talk through the new stuff. And tonight's really just discussion and showing some code. And then you got to put it into work. You got to be the one that starts trying to build with these building blocks. I'm giving you all a bunch of really fancy Legos. And it's up to you to start putting these Legos together in meaningful ways so you can build the stuff that you want to build. But the thing is, we don't need that many more Legos to do everything. You have some key ones. We're going to review them. We're adding one big one. And then there's just a few other layers we have to put on top. And so we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I always like to have a few minutes or so for questions. We got some good ones in already. See if we got any other good ones here. Miriam, never. Catch up. Ask for help if you need it. I finished my app, but Heroku keeps giving me errors that Google say it's a port issue. But I set up the port like you did. Post in the node channel with the actual error so that we can help. It's kind of hard to know without seeing the error. So post in the node channel, ping me, and I'll take a peek after class. But yeah, as long as you have that environment link, the process.env.port should work. And yeah, the other big thing too, a lot of folks keep running into, that I even ran into, is you got to make sure that your IP address on Mongo Atlas is whitelisted, meaning that it's open to any IP address, because you don't know, well, you can, but the IP address that Heroku is going to give you, you won't know right ahead. So if you allow it for all IP addresses, then it'll work with whatever Heroku gives you. Yeah, so if you're getting like a 500 level error or something like that, then it's either the that environment thing or the unfortunate that you didn't set all IP addresses for Mongo. Those are the big ones. We'll be able to talk about the carrots in EJS. Yeah, we could talk about this today for sure. All right, let's get into this, folks. I'm excited. Like I said, this is the culmination of everything. This is where it gets fun. This is where you're able to start to build. And I'm going to actually dig a little bit deep here. Dig a little deep, because the end result, being able to build, is just so nice. All right. So this Friday, we're going to have a project night. So this Friday, I want you to come with us on Remo, and you're just going to be working on your applications. And I am going to be at a table. If you need help, swing by the table. I'm going to help you while you're at the table. We're going to just have a project night where you're able to come, work on your applications, get some help from your peers, make sure that you're able to kind of do some live coding with some other folks. And so that's what we'll be doing on Friday. You can work on the app I asked you to submit today. You can work on your to-do list. You can work on your 100 devs project. But the idea here is that we just have a little bit of time to start building, because that's the point now. We're at the point where we need to be building. That's it. Now, the other thing we'll be doing very briefly at the beginning of that is talking about the 100 Devs agency, some things that you all can start helping with right now, some things that we're going to be building into the future. So if you're interested in the 100 Devs agency portion and the startup that we're trying to buy, definitely stop by on Friday. We're going to spend maybe 15 or so minutes talking through it, and then we're going to jump into our project night. Hey, Indifferent, thank you for the 6 months. Let's go. That's awesome. The 100 Devs Facebook page is marked as a boot camp. I might have to change that then. That's probably something old that I did by accident. Yeah, I'll figure that out. You got any suggestions for something else to build for the next submission if we made a to-do list for tonight? Izzy, I actually saw that too. That was funny. It's up to you. Pick something else that you want to build, something that might be fun to you. If you have a hobby, think about something that you could build that's related to that hobby. Yeah, I reserved it just so I had it, yeah. So is the to-do list this Tuesday or next Thursday? I want you to try and get a start on it for this Thursday. And then I want you to bring it to project night. So I'm asking you to try and get a start on it. I know that not everyone has that luxury of time. So I want you, if you're able to, get a start on it for Thursday, bring it to project night, come on Sunday with questions, and it'll be due next week. But I want you to at least get a try for it for Thursday. Yeah. All right. Office hours are Sunday, and we're going to be doing a full back-end review. So we might go over the 3 hours. We're going to really just try to break everything all the way back down. I'm going all the way back to callbacks and building all the way up to where we're at right now with CRUD APIs. And so if you want even more review, more practice, come on Sunday. To-do list is such a milestone. I can't believe I understand how to do it now. Let's go. That's awesome. Hey, there you go, Cross. That's awesome. Zilke said, Leon, when are the previous lessons going to be uploaded to YouTube? I don't know. I've tried. I got to get some time. Right now is one of my busiest weeks at work right now. So it's just been hard to find the time to get everything up, but I'm trying. As soon as I can, they'll go up and then I'll let everyone know. It's gonna be a mission to make this to-do list. Leon, do you need an intern? No, actually probably be nice. All right, let's keep pushing here. The newsletter. Here we go. Here is, if you have been hanging around for these parts for a while, you know that I have a newsletter, ! Newsletter. If you open them up, you get a lovely surprise sometimes. And so there was a link today for you to submit your name for a special surprise raffle. And so we are raffling off a Micro Leon sticker. We haven't put these in there's never been merch with these yet. You only get them through these one-of-a-kind raffles that we do. Now, I am super behind on mailing stuff. It's going out. Stuff has gone out. I've put it out. A lot of other stuff has gone out, but I'm behind. So to make this easier on myself, I'm going to do it as a Streamlabs raffle. I said a mask. I queued it up as a sticker. Hold on. I'll do both then. I'll queue it up as a sticker, and then when we take a break, I'll queue up the mask. So you're getting, this is a twofer. This is a twofer if you did the form today in the newsletter. Now, I am going to open up a raffle. This raffle is only for folks that have submitted the form in the newsletter. If you enter the raffle and you win and you haven't submitted that form, I'm banning you. I'm banning you from Twitch. I'm banning you from Discord. I'm banning anything that I can touch, you're getting banned on. And this is just because if I redeem the raffles through Streamlabs, people can just enter in their info and it gets shipped to them right away. So this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be way easier. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the raffle. only enter the raffle if you submitted the form before class started. If you enter after and you win, I'm banning you from everything. Cool. And I will not lose any sleep over it. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to resume entries on the raffle. You can do exclamation point raffle. Exclamation point raffle. I'm going to leave it open for just like another 30 seconds or so. Go ahead, get in here if you filled out that form before class. Alrighty, folks. Another incentive to get here early too. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and close the entries here. Good job, everyone. All right, closing the entries. And I'm going to pick a winner. Heaven help you. Tissy Dro. Hey, Tissy Dro with the win. Now the fun part. Tissy Dro won. Now, let's make sure they were on the list. Let's make sure. Can I search these? I gotta go here. All right, here we go. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let's see if I gotta bust out the band hammer here. All right, they're on the list. I see them. They were in real early too. They were early on the list. Congrats. Let me go ahead and complete the raffle. You should use that link. If you use that link, it'll get auto mailed out to you right away. So go ahead and use that, Dro. Go ahead and use that link, and it should go right to you. And then once we take a break, I'll set up a mask one because I forgot it said mask in there. I had queued up the sticker, so we'll do the mask one after a break. Cool. If you too would like these amazing prizes, go ahead and do exclamation point newsletter in chat and join the newsletter. I put all the goodies in there first. Alrighty. Let's keep pushing, folks. Tuesday, Microsoft stream. What? Microsoft is coming back on Tuesday to sponsor this stream. And they're pulling out all the stops, folks. They're pulling out all the stops. Pulling out all the stops. We're talking thousands of dollars in Azure credit. You won't have to pay for a server for a long, long time. We're talking swag bags out the wazoo. So Tuesday, come on back. We got a beautiful sponsor stream by Microsoft. And the cool thing is we're going to add login to our applications. So not only do we get the party of all parties, not only do we get credit and swag, we get authentication too. We get login. We can have users log into our applications. That's a jam. That's a jam. That is a jam. So come next Tuesday if you want some sweet swag, you want some sweet Azure credit, you want some sweet login action on your full stack applications. Come on back. Now, we just released our 2020 impact report for resilient coders. And this is serious. I got to chill the music here. This is serious. And for the check-in tonight, I asked very kindly for you to retweet and like the tweet we put out for that impact report. This is something myself and my team work on, these numbers, like making this happen for that program. We work on this tirelessly throughout the year. Like this is like the culmination of like months and months of hard work. And it's something that we're like super, super, super proud of. And so I asked y'all to retweet it just so that more folks can find out about it. There's also a really nice shout out to 100 devs in it. So we got our own page in the impact report. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and check it out. You can do !check-in if you want to see the tweet that has the link. And I would really, really appreciate a like and a retweet just so more folks can find out about it. So go ahead and read it. We got there's a really cool info in there, and there's like a nice 100 dev section, which is pretty dope. This is a quote from Z, who we've talked about on stream before. But it was something that really struck a chord, and something that I felt was worthwhile to talk about right now. Because right now, we are still in the trough of sorrow, right? We're in the trough of sorrow, but I'm hoping after this week, I'm hoping after Sunday, you can start to see this fuzzy hill in the distance, right? You hopefully after this week, you can see this really fuzzy hill in the distance. It's far, but it's just you see, it's all the way out there, but it's there though. It's fuzzy, but it's out there, right? And so I'm hoping after this Sunday, once you start to realize that everything is just CRUD, you're just creating, reading, updating, and deleting. You're really just copying and pasting a lot, right? Once you realize to build whatever you want on the web, it's really just those 4 things. And you now know how to do those 4 things. You know how to do the JavaScript. You know how to do the HTMLs. You know how to do the CSS. I'm hoping that you're going to start to see this fuzzy hill way out there in the distance. Okay. And this person in this quote, I think, really highlights something that a lot of folks that are trying to learn with us right now are going through. And thank you, True for 24. Hey, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. This right here is something that I know that a lot of folks are feeling, and it's something that I want to hopefully energize y'all. Z was grinding out Uber to make ends meet. Couldn't use their car anymore. Still needed to make rent. Took a job at McDonald's. Grinded out McDonald's just to make sure they could live. And decided to commit themselves to learning code. And now they work at a company that was just bought by Uber. To me, this is the story of all stories. This is the come up. And what I want you all to realize is that it can happen for you too. I know when you're in the thick of it, right now, it doesn't feel that way. Z was in that same spot, in the thick of it, in the middle of program, where we're past a little bit halfway right now. They're in the middle of program, thinking that it wasn't going to happen, and they made a decision. They made a decision to keep going. They made a decision to know that, yes, it sucks right now, but it also sucked a couple weeks ago. And I got through that shit. And it sucked a couple months ago, and I got through that shit too. And you're going to get through this stuff as well. If it takes us repeating, we're going to repeat. If it takes us getting in our space repetition, we're going to get our space repetition in. It sucks right now because it's new. It sucks right now because it's also hard. But just like all the other stuff you got through, you're going to get through this too. Might take a little bit longer, but you're going to get through it. And I'm telling you that the prize is coming into sight. A lot of folks struggle with this idea of, I don't know enough. I don't know enough to get a job. I'm telling you right now, if you can get through this CRUD stuff and you can start building apps with these very simple building blocks, the window is going to come into view. You will have known enough. Now, you have a whole career to add stuff on top of these skills. A whole career to add more details, to add more nuance, to understand things better. But for these next few weeks, we're in the CRUD. We're just trying to create, read, update, delete, and we're trying to shoehorn all of our app ideas into these very simple concepts. You don't need anything else. The HTML you know is sufficient. The CSS you know is sufficient. The JavaScript you know is sufficient. The Node you know after tonight is sufficient. The EJS you know is sufficient. You don't need more to build the things you want to build. So everything else from this point forward is gravy. It's some extra stuff we're putting on top to make our apps have just a little bit more functionality, to do a little bit more things. And then we're going to add some other skills that are just going to help us in the job search. We're going to add React because it's in demand. We don't need it though. You could use EJS, right? We're going to add React because it's in demand and will help us with some things down the line. And we're going to add our algorithmic thinking, our data structures, our toolbox that we're going to use during the interviews because it's going to help us get through those technical interviews. But that's it. That's it. There's not more than this. So if you're here, buckle up. It's not that much farther to go. It's not that much farther to go. And if you're struggling, if you're already hurting, in the wise words of Dr. Eric Thomas, you're already hurting, you might as well get a reward out of it. So stick through the suck. Give me 2 more months and be surprised at the things that you're able to build. Be wondered in the skills that you have, but don't forget where you were just a few months ago. For some of you, this was the first time you've ever touched code. Look at what you've been able to do. In a pandemic, my students at Resilient Coders had a 94% placement rate and a $92,000 starting salary. I'll say it one more time. At the height of the pandemic, when the surge was happening, my students graduated. They had a 94% placement rate and a $92K starting salary. It's not magic. It's real. It's not magic. They busted their ass. I have the best team in the world, and my students busted their ass. They are in the same situation you're in right now 3 months ago, where you're feeling like it's too much. It's just tipping in that overwhelming point. Life is hitting you real, right? Life's hitting you real right now. Maybe you got a job outside of this class. Maybe you got some kids running around at home. Life is hitting you hard right now. This is the trough of sorrow. You thought you were in the trough of sorrow, but now you're in it. You're here now. And you have a decision to make. Are you going to let all the bullshit stop you? Are you going to persevere, push through this suck, and get a fucking job? People come to me all the time. Leon, nobody's getting jobs right now. Fuck, they ain't. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You have no idea the things you're saying right now. Leon, the salaries aren't what they used to be. Fuck, they ain't. What are you talking about? And we got the numbers. Because see, at Resilient, we have to plan out cohorts ahead. We're taking 60 individuals into the next cohort. 60. And we don't play fast and loose. We know we can get every single one of them jobs. We know it. We wouldn't do it if we didn't know it. Because we got the receipts. Exactly, Dad. We got the receipts. We got the MOUs. We got the companies banging down our door. We got the companies that are trying to hire now. They paused a lot of their hiring over the summer, and now they need to hire. So I don't know where that nonsense is coming from. Right now, there is a window that is open I have no idea how long that window will be open, but I hope, and I really hope, and it's really hard to say this without crying, but I really hope you decide to carry some logs, you decide to carry some boats, and you run as fast as you can through that window, because it's going to close. It's going to close, and I want as many of you through that window as humanly possible. It might be through the rest of the summer. It might be for another year. I have no idea. But the window's open right now. It could close. It can close 2 months from now. I don't know. But there's a window open right now. With the skills that we've covered so far and just a little bit more, you can get through that window. Now, the second half is the hard part. The stuff that came before was easy. You got a lot of hard work ahead of you. And it's not just code. It's the networking. It's the trying to get recommended, like really recommended to 60 different companies. That doesn't come easy. It's the writing 60 custom resumes. It's the building custom apps so that your applications stand out. If you suck at networking, that means your applications have to be better. You could stop networking right now, but your applications are going to have to be. So know that the code is one piece. And there's a lot of hard work ahead of you for the other piece. But I'm telling you, 2 to 4 months of hard work will change your life. 2 to 4 months more of just, I'm going to say grueling. I'm going to say grueling hard work. But if you can hang on, you can keep that energy up. There's that window, and you can make it through. I can't make the decision for you. And as hard as I've tried to notice over the past 10 years, I've tried to figure out what that click in somebody's brain is. Never found it. Everyone makes a decision, and it's different for each person. Some people make a decision day one of boot camp that they're getting that job. Some of you haven't made that decision yet. Some of you might be making that decision right now. Fuck it. I'm going to do what I need to do to get the job. Don't know what it is. Don't know how it happens, but I can see it. Students show up the next day and they're different. Students are going to show up on Friday, and I'm going to see something in your eyes that I didn't see last Friday. You're going to come to the one-on-ones, and I'm going to know it. I'm going to be able to smell it through the computer. I want you to make that decision. Can't make it for you, but I want you to say, fuck it. I can put in 2 to 4 more months of work and get a fantastic job. I can set myself up. I can set my family up. I can set up my future children, my grandchildren up. I can create a future that I may not have been able to create a few months ago. Can't make you that decision for you, but I hope it clicks. I hope you make that decision. I've shared my numbers. This is as real as I can get with you. I shared I asked you to like and retweet it. Our impact report. It kept it real. Everything in there is true. When I talk about these numbers, they're not made up. We don't do any funny business. No hire backs. No bullshit. And these were our students that graduated in December. We're 3 months out at 94%. I saw you in different, not 6 months. This is 3 months out. 3 months out, we're at 94%, 92 starting. Make the decision. Fuck around and find out, right? Come on. You're already hurting. Get a freaking reward from it. Put in the work. Make the decision. It's not that much more. The hills, that fuzzy hill's coming up. You can do it. And I'm gonna bust my ass to help you. As we get closer to interviewing, as we get closer to doing the hard work of the hunt, I'm gonna every fiber of my being's going into this. If you need help, I'm gonna help you. If you need help, we have an amazing group of folks on our Discord. We have amazing folks in this Twitch chat right now that want to see you be successful, that want to help you. Don't let something like CRUD stop you from getting what you want. You'll get through it. You'll get through it. And we're going to get through it together. Deep breaths, folks. Deep breaths. All right. It's not too late. It's not too late. That's the last thing I want to talk on this. It's not too late. You're saying, Leon, I'm behind. The number one message I get on Discord is, Leon, I'm behind. All right, get caught up. How can I help? Get caught up. It's not too late. We're going into a phase of program where we're building. It's going to be less lecture. You just don't need too much more of it. What you need now is to build, to break stuff, to come with questions, to get the weird stuff figured out. But the knowledge that you have is powerful. You've gotten clients, you've helped grassroots organizations, you've contributed to open source. Your skills have meaning, they have power, they have value. So you already got something. And it's not too late if you're not caught up to catch up. It's not too late to get in the car with us right now. Will it be work? Yes. It's going to be a lot of hell of work. But it's not too late. It's not too late. Cool. All right. Now, moving on. Hey, the wife joined. That's awesome. Now, all right. Leon rant over. It comes from the heart. I want you all to be successful. You can do it. Put in the work. Now, a lot of what we're doing with this CRUD stuff is a throwback to when we were dealing with the CSS stuff. We're writing some vomit code. We don't care if it looks good. We don't care if it's best practice. What we care is that we can build apps. That's what we care about. I don't care if it's the worst thing you've ever seen. I want you to be able to build something. That's what we're doing. The next month of classes is just going to keep adding and refining what we've done this past week. We're going to bring it up to modern standards. We're going to make it easier to read. We're going to keep adding on all the bells and whistles. But right now, we're not there. We don't have all the accoutrements. We have the vomit. And so don't put the pressure on yourself right now to be writing production-ready, job-ready code. Fuck that. That's not what we're doing. We're writing some vomity, chunky, nasty, you're going to wake up the next morning and be, did I do that type code? Because it doesn't matter. Because we're going to be building. We're going to be building applications. And at the end of the day, people are going to look at what you built and be like, you built that? And be like, fuck yeah, I built that. Don't look at the code. It ain't pretty. But if you need me to build something, I can build you something. That's what we're getting. Doesn't matter if you have pretty code if it never ships. Hell yeah. So take that pressure off of yourself. Take it off of yourself. You're not writing good code right now. You're writing some nasty code right now. It doesn't have to look pretty. Your callbacks could be all over the place. You could be using stuff you have no idea what the hell it does. You just know that shit works. I don't know why. Can't tell you why, but it works. I'm here to build. That's it. So settle up, get you a bucket, and start vomiting some code. Stop being afraid. Break it. Your database won't connect. Okay, figure it out. Try to push the Roku, it won't go. All right, jump in Discord. Let's figure that out. Tonight and over the next couple of weeks is about breaking. It's about building. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. We'll have the rest of the cohort to figure that out. Take that pressure off of yourself. If you're copying and pasting, all right. Does it work? Were you able to build the thing you wanted to build? Because I don't care. Build. Write some nasty ass code and build. Take that pressure off yourself. Take the pressure off of having to know every single line and what it's doing. I don't know what that connection thing means. I just know that it's going to connect to my database. Great. I'm building. Move on. You'll have the rest of your career. You'll have the rest of your career to figure out what that unified topology, whatever the heck that is. Right now you're building. Alrighty. Let's talk about the back end, folks. Let's talk about the back end. So, we're relieving ourselves of the pressure. We're moving into the back end. We're going to review some topics, and we're going to talk about apps. We're going to look at some code tonight, and we're going to build. And over this weekend, you're building. Over the next week, you're building. You're building, you're building, you're building. If you're going to get anything tattooed on yourself right now, it should just say build. All right, I missed some things because I was in Leon mode for a second. Will, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Reggie, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. And Reggie, I really appreciate that. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you being here. Cheers to you. Thank you. Will, thank you for the hydration. I got a CRUD tattoo instead. All right. Someone get a tattoo of Leon, please. Please don't ever do that. Please don't do that. That's like the weirdest thing. Like all the YouTubers ask like their folks to like get tattoos. And that's don't Dobrik me. That's wild. That's right. Get a Bob tattoo instead. OnlyFans access for tattoo. No, nope. You got to earn that. Tattoo ain't earning that. All right, folks, let's get into the back end. We're talking Node, baby. We're not talking some other stuff. We're talking Node.js. Dak, thank you for the 5 months. Yes, the Bezos bucks. I love it. All right, let's get the energy back. Let's go. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. Chat. What is a JavaScript runtime? What is a runtime? Chat, give me some energy. What's a runtime? Yeah, it's where we're running our code, baby. It's the hosting environment. We just have a new place to run our JavaScript. New place, who dis? All right, yeah, it's a place to run our JavaScript. What's the V8 engine? What's the V8 engine? So Node gives us the place to run our JavaScript. What's the V8 engine? Ooh, I like that, Brian. It's the compiler plus some other stuff. Compiler plus some other stuff, right? So the cool thing is that the JavaScript we write, our computer doesn't really understand. Has to be broken down into something that the computer can understand. The V8 engine handles that, plus some other stuff like memory management, garbage cleaning, all the stuff that JavaScript really can't do by itself. It needs something else to help with that. The V8 engine does it, and we're running our JavaScript in this environment that is Node. Chat, what's another environment in which we could run our JavaScript that we've used pretty excessively? Yeah, we've used another environment we've used is the browser, right? Another engine I saw you, another engine face is Spider Monkey, right? But the browser is the other environment that we run our JavaScript in. Cool. Talked about engine versus compiler. And the cool thing is when we were running our JavaScript in the browser, we got access to all of these web APIs, like all these extra things that our code got access to because it was running in the browser. Well, we get access to a bunch of other cool stuff because our code is running in Node. And we get all these built-in modules, things that enable us to talk to a network, listen for requests, generate responses, things that enable us to go to a file system and get files off of our hard drive or SSD, right? Gives us access to millions of packages via something like npm. So not only do we need these things that are built in, but we can also get access to like 1.8 million other things that could extend or give us extra life to our code. And the beautiful thing is that since we're running our JavaScript in the Node hosting environment, we're not using web APIs anymore, but C and C++ APIs. And the beautiful thing about those C and C++ APIs is that they're fast. They are fast. Yeah, they're fast. So we get all these goodies just because we're running our code in Node. All right, so we started with these very simple modules. From these modules, we built a really simple application. Remember this? Yeah, that don't look simple. So the code was okay, but it was a lot. We had to handle a lot of stuff. We had to remember a lot of stuff. We had to serve up everything individually. We were in the muck with HTTP. We were slinging HTTP code all over the place. And it worked, but it didn't read too good. It didn't look too hot. That would have been a hot heap of garbage to maintain. So how could we clean up all this code that we had before? We were in there using the core modules. We made it work. We were in there. Yeah, how do we clean it up? We cleaned it up with Express. And so Express helped us clean it all up. It gave us some things that talk to HTTP, so we're not in the muck handling those modules ourselves. Express kind of abstracts out a lot of the heavy lifting and gives us easy to use methods that make our lives really easy, right? When you go to Express's website, as all these technologies do, they have a really complicated bit of text. Express is fast. We understand that it's fast. It doesn't take too much. It doesn't slow down your application. Chat, what does it mean that it's unopinionated? Well, when I say that Express is unopinionated, what do I mean? Doesn't make you do stuff. Exactly. You can bring your own stuff. Doesn't care what you do with it. It doesn't have a rigid way that you have to use it. You can bring whatever modules you want. They're all invited to the party. It doesn't make decisions about how you have to do something or how specifically you have to use it or what you have to use it with. It's minimalist, meaning that there's not a lot to it. It's just helping us with our CRUD APIs, and that's really it. When I say a CRUD API, what the heck do I mean? I said it helps us build out our CRUD API. What the heck does that mean? Yeah, it means Express is going to help us build applications that can create stuff, read stuff, update stuff, and delete stuff. That's what Express does really good. It handles all the HTTP stuff, all the networking stuff, so we don't ever have to think about it. It's abstracted away from us. We don't have to ever think about it. I don't hear it, I don't see it. But it just enables us to create, read, update, delete all day long, build out apps that have all the functionality of our dreams, and it just works. Cool. Now, it says it's a myriad of HTTP utility methods. All that means is that it's just things that help us handle network, right? Handle the network requests. Remember, the way the internet works is we have client-side devices. The device you're watching me on right now, that's a client-side device. That device is making a request to Twitch. Twitch needs to be able to hear those requests, right? When we're building out our wrap API, right? When we're building out our wrap API, our current wrappers app here. When we load this page, we have made a request. Our server needs to be able to hear that request, and we need to eventually be able to generate a response. That's what Express is really good at. Express handles all that stuff for us. It handles hearing the request, and it helps us handle how we respond. All right? It just obfuscates. It abstracts all of the heavy lifting that is dealing with HTTP, so we can just focus on creating, reading, updating, and deleting. And it handles a lot of other stuff for us too. It gives us things like a public folder, so we don't wind up having to serve up individual files like we did in the beginning. Ugh, remember that? Ugh, you don't have to do that anymore. Cool. And middleware. What's middleware, chat? What's middleware? You see that word all of the time. What's middleware? Where that goes in the middle. Yeah, everything between the request and the response, stuff that helps us handle that request and the response, all the software that helps us with the request and the response, all the software that sits between the request and the response. We're just going to call all that middleware for now. Boom. And then an API. Last thing here, creating a robust API. In this case, we're building a CRUD API. We're going to be listening for requests that are asking us to create something. We're going to be asking for requests that help us to read stuff, update stuff, delete stuff. That's our API. All right. So we are going to jump into Express and building out this application. Look at this application, folks. It is live right now. You could be adding to this current wrappers app. Remember, I have all your IP addresses, but you could be all up in here right now. Let me paste the link. Adding wrappers and everything. And look at this app, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a refresh. We got a lot of wrappers in here. And the cool thing is, look at this. Dab. I'm gonna like it too. There we go. So here we go. The app is live. You're gonna notice that we can add a wrapper. Do we have anybody here missing? Let's go ahead and add Polo G because I don't see them on here. I'm gonna grab their birth name. I'm gonna come back. Let me go ahead and do Polo G. I'm gonna add their birth name. It's just getting wild. And so here we go. We have Polo G and their birth name. We can actually go ahead and upvote or like that wrapper. And where is Cheese? I saw Cheese. Cheese Please. Cheese Please has said hire me. And so the cool thing is that we can add wrappers. We can delete wrappers. We can like wrappers. And we can read all the wrappers that all y'all wild folks are creating. So this app, while very simple, is the key to anything that you want to build. It's all here. The code that we use tonight, you can use to build whatever you want. So you understand how to create, you understand how to read, you understand how to delete, you know how to update after tonight. You can build whatever you want. That is wild. So, we are at the top of the hour. We're going to take our well-deserved break. But when we come back, we're going to break down this app into all of its pieces. We're going to spend an hour through every detail, really making sure we understand. We're going to walk through all the bits, all the pieces. Then we're going to walk through the new stuff, the updating, environment variables. How do we keep our secrets secret? Some new things we're going to add to the mix here, right? And we're just going to use this to build and build and build. Indifferent, thank you for the gifted sub to Cheese, please. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break. If you're new here, we always take a break at the top of the hour. We're here to be engineers for the rest of our career. That means we need to take a break so our hands and our fingers and our eyes can rest a little bit. We can hydrate and grab some water. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 5-minute timer on the clock. Roya added 2 minutes to the timer, folks. So we get a lovely 7-minute timer today. Please use that to your advantage. Please take the break. Please get up, walk away, and then buckle up for some crudiness when you come back. Cool. 7 minutes on the clock. All right, folks, enjoy your break, please. If you're able to, get up, hydrate, let your eyes relax. How much is a Leon NFT worth? I really want to get that NFT idea off the ground. Marcos, yes. Miriam, are you taking care of yourself? Yes, I think so. I getting my hydration in. I'm getting some exercise in. I got a lot of work these days, but it's good work. I'm happy to do it. Got a good break over the weekend. Yeah, I think I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. Yeah, Sour Dev. I just wish I had like an extra 5 hours a day. If I had an extra 5 hours a day, I would be a very happy person. I really want, and if I don't, I'm never gonna have time to make this, but I really want my clips on this channel to be NFTs, and then I want people to be able to buy the clips that are NFTs with their channel points. And so if it's like a really cool clip, like it's a really funny one and everyone really likes it, then the channel points that people bid on it would go up, up, and up. So you would wind up having people like YOLOing channel points to buy NFTs. So I thought that'd be a cool idea. Yeah. You can't really use channel points in that way, but you can probably use the Streamlabs or the Stream Elements points. And we've had both of those bots in chat already, so yeah. Blah. What's your skincare routine? Your skin looks amazing. Water. I'm one of those weirdos. I don't know what it is. I'm very lucky. I've been blessed to have decent skin most of my life. I hydrate really. Hydration is my key, I guess. And I don't really like to wash my face. I find whenever I use something harsh on my face, any like exfoliants or scrubs or anything like that, I just break out immediately afterwards. And so I don't. Cold water. Yeah, sunblock's important too. What would you recommend we do to recharge ourselves after work and get ready to code? I think that's such a personal thing. Pretty much before every stream, I take a shower and I play either like music or a video I want to watch. And so I do that to like separate my like work day from the stream and like get the energy up and like get ready to like do everything I need to do. So like normally I'm like cramming right up until like 6 Eastern time, and then I stop, I do what I got to do, take a shower, get ready mentally, and then I do it. So I find having something that like breaks up the day a little bit can be really helpful. Like breaks up the routine a little bit. So if you're working, like having something that breaks that up, a walk or something. Don't be like on one keyboard and like turn to the other, you know? And they also try really hard to take one day off a week. That's been the best thing I've ever done for my entire working career. I haven't got all my professional links stored it, but I want to send them so far. Can I still do that? Yes, you can find the link on the Follow Along Materials channel. Since I got my laptop back, I'm going extra hard and my fingers have been so much pain since. Yeah, definitely make sure you're doing Dr. Levi's, but I find if you're already hurting, don't push through it. I've messed myself even more by doing it. It's lighter stretches, more frequent breaks. Real keyboard definitely can help too. Can you give a quick summary about what a non-fungible token is, an NFT token is? Just think about like a digital thing that has value. That's all it is. And you can typically buy those things with crypto, and then the value of the asset might appreciate over time. Yeah, it's just a digital thing that has value right now. I think it's as simple as I can say it. Is an influx or overabundance of developers anything to worry about? Is there enough work for those willing to put in the grind? Absolutely enough work. We have the most demand I've ever seen for, like, I have hundreds of students I've helped get jobs. We talk to hundreds of employers. It is literally the best time I've ever seen in my 8 years of doing this. And the Department of Labor is projecting a huge increase in developer demand. Every company is a tech company now. So yeah, demand is not going anywhere. What you do have is a bunch of folks that might not be as prepared as they think they are trying to get jobs and then complaining about it. Apparently NFTs are quite bad for the environment. I mean, any like crypto, like that's a big thing. Like crypto is like, what I figure it's like Bitcoin, like is the same like power output as like a small nation, like a normal, like a small sized nation. Yeah, Dab, I agree. Having a little bit of a routine beforehand is really helpful, and a checklist too. Starting your, as you know, starting your stream is pretty stressful. There's a lot of stuff you got to remember to do, messages you got to send, and so a checklist can be really helpful too. My delivery for a keyboard got snatched. No, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Is the demand more West Coast or East Coast? It's major cities. Major cities definitely have the most demand. As the place that you're looking for gets smaller, the jobs get more specific and less plentiful. Yeah, but still depends on where you're at. I've seen some small areas that just have a couple big employers and hire a lot of folks. Yeah. Alrighty, folks. Come on back. Come on back. My son says you're good at giving advice. Hey, tell him I said thank you. All right, folks, come on back. Come on back. Alrighty, let's go over this together. So we have this lovely web application that you all are going ham on. I guess somebody took the break to delete everything. I knew this would be a wild one, so it's been fun. So here we have an app. The cool thing is that we can add a wrapper. We can add their birth name, submit them. Now we also have the ability to like them. And the thing that you're going to notice is that the one with the most likes, it's sorted. So it's the wrappers are sorted from most liked to least liked. So that's the cool thing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's chill the music here. All right. Fox, hey, Fox, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Thank you. Alrighty. Very simple web app that does all of CRUD. Create, read, update, delete. We can add new wrappers, which is our creating. When we refresh the page or load the page, that is our reading. We're grabbing all the wrappers that might be in our database. We have the ability to update now by liking. And the cool thing is that our list is sorted, which is dope. And we also have the ability to delete by clicking the trash can. So a couple little new things here that we're going to add. But first we want to talk about like what a web app is, what's actually happening underneath the hood, what are these bigger pieces, right? And then we'll get to the code. So I want to take as long as we need to really talk about the ideas behind what's happening, and then we'll get to the code. Okay. So how does the internet work? Well, I gave myself a nice blank slide here. And going all the way back to class 1, we have this idea of client-side devices, and we have servers. And the server-client relationship is pretty easy to understand on face value. The internet is really a series of wires, and we make requests across those wires. So we have a client-side device. A client-side device is whatever you use to consume the internet, right? Whether it is a mobile phone, whether it is the computer you're on right now, a laptop, a desktop, heck, your coffee machine, your refrigerator, they might all be client-side devices as well, too. Now, we use these client-side devices to make requests. And you make these requests all the dang time. Whenever you type in a URL and hit enter, you have made a request. Whenever you fill out a form, you have made a request. Whenever you click on something and something has to update in a database somewhere, you have made a request, right? So we make these requests all the time. And so we're used to using our client-side devices to make requests. We spent the first part of Bootcamp just focused on the code that runs on these client-side devices. We were running our HTML, our CSS, our JavaScript on our client-side device. Okay? But now, we want to be able to write the code that runs on the server. And the server's job is to, when you make a request, to serve up the right information to you. Sometimes it's going to send you an HTML file. Sometimes the server is going to send you a CSS file. Sometimes the server is going to send you a bunch of files, images, fonts, everything you could think of. But it's the server's job to listen to those requests, to figure out what type of response you're going to get, and then to respond with all this information, to serve it up, right? The client makes requests. The server hears those requests and responds. You got served, right? So the tricky part is writing all the code that's running on the server that enables us to hear these requests, generate a response, and respond. That's the tricky part. Now, the really cool thing, though, is that while the code is tricky, you're really just going to be repeating yourself over and over and over again. Okay? You're going to have some code that can listen for some very specific kinds of requests. And we're really primarily focused right now on 4 kinds of requests: a GET request, a POST request, a PUT request, and a DELETE request. The GET request we are all super familiar with, right? whenever we type in a URL, or sometimes we refresh a page, those are all GET requests. We are sending a request from the client-side device to our server saying, give me some information. Give me some data, right? And then the code that's running on the server can hear that request and be like, all right, these are the steps I need to do. Boom, boom, boom. After I do all these steps, I'm going to have a nice meaty response for you. And I'm going to send you all this stuff back. You asked for this stuff. Here's the stuff you wanted back. Now, the code that we write that can hear these requests, whether it's a GET, a POST, a PUT, or a DELETE, we call that code our what? We call that code our what, chat? It's our API. That's all it is. It's our API. Now, where people get tripped up is they're like, Leon, it's our API, but what the heck does that mean? Why do we call it an API? All an API does is it makes it easy for two different pieces of software to talk to each other, right? It abstracts the heavy lifting, exactly. So an API is a very simple interface, like something very easy that we can do or interact with that can do a lot of complex stuff. The example we use a lot is a restaurant. In a restaurant, you point to an item on a menu and you say, this, please. And then all this stuff happens in the kitchen, right? All this stuff happens in the kitchen. They have to get the ingredients, they have to mix them, they have to cook them, they have to sort them, they have to plate them. All this stuff happens. You don't know what's happening. All you said was pad thai, and then all this heavy lifting happened. Now, the cool thing is we can build that code together today. So our API is going to be something very simple. It's going to give us a very simple interface, maybe app.get on the /. That's the same thing as pulling out your menu and saying pad thai. When I am on my client-side device, right? When I am on my client-side device, I am going to make a request. My API will hear this very simple request. This very simple URL. That's the interface. It's a very simple URL. That was our interface to the API. Now, all the things that are going to have to happen are rather complex. There's going to be lots of steps that we have to do. We heard that URL. We heard that request. And now our code has to go and do a bunch of stuff. It has to figure out what we requested. It has to go talk to a database. It has to take all that stuff that we got back from the database, put it in a format that makes sense, send it all back to the client. So all the client is doing is refreshing or typing in a URL, but our API uses that very simple interface, the refresh or the URL. It understands that request and does a bunch of stuff on our behalf to generate a response. The cool thing though is we get to code that code. We get to write the code about how our server is going to respond. We get to tell it to go talk to the database. We get to tell it to generate some HTML. We get full control over what we want it to do. So in the end, we're going to wind up building an application that can listen for these very simple requests. And when it hears those requests, it's going to do some very complex stuff. But hopefully after tonight, that complex stuff makes sense. It's not so much wild sauce. It's something that we can actually wrap our brains around and understand what is happening. Tony Diamond, hey, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. All right. Now, what technology handles the requests coming from the client and the requests coming back from the server? What technology is this internet's built on top of? Chat, what is this built on top of? Yeah. The web is built on top of the hypertext transfer protocol, the HTTP protocol. We got the lovely S for secure for all the OGs from class 1. Now, the cool thing is the requests we're talking about, these gets, these posts, these puts, these deletes, these are all requests that come from HTTP. Like the way that we're sending data back and forth, HTTP just handles that data in certain ways. And the really cool thing is that when we're writing our Node applications and we're using Node to build out these wonderful CRUD APIs, the APIs that can hear the creating, the reading, the updating, the deleting, that can hear the get, the post, the put, and delete. The cool thing is that Node comes out the gate with a core module. It comes with a core HTTP module. And because we have access to that module, we can listen to those requests. We can listen to the get request, the post request, the put, the delete. We can listen to all of these things that are coming in. The problem with all that was, though, is that if we just use the core module, we get code that looks like this. We're in the muck. We're handling every individual request as it comes in. And we could build a fully featured web application that can create stuff, read stuff, update stuff, delete stuff using this type of code, but it's just a lot. It's a lot of heavy lifting. We have to remember all of these HTTP methods. We have to use them correctly. We have to be parsing our URLs. We have to do all of this stuff. And so you just got a job. Indifferent, I am happy to do your portfolio review. They got the new one. They want number 2. They're going for the second one. I need better portfolios. All right, I got you. We'll do it. Oh, that'd be fun. You want to do it live on stream? That'd be cool. I got you. Aiming for Netflix in 4 years. Let's go. All right. Happy to do the portfolio review. I'll DM you. Could totally do it live. Yes, let's do it. So real quick while we're here, I have made the commitment to helping folks with their resume reviews and portfolio reviews and all that stuff, especially as we get into the hunt. And one of the things I really want to do is to do them all live. So I would love to do resume reviews, portfolio reviews, so folks can learn from everything that we're doing. And so I am going to put that into play, and the folks that want to do it live will go first. So you don't have to do it live, but the folks that want to do it live will go first. And so that's how we're going to do the portfolio and resume reviews as we get there. So just put that in mind. That way people can benefit from seeing the silly things that we have to fix, the little tweaks that we have to make, and then everyone can benefit from it. When we get there, month from now, yeah. Cool. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled programming here. We could build an app that looks like this, but this is a little bit hot garbage. This is a little too much. We're slinging HTTP methods everywhere. We have to remember all this weird code. It was just too much. And so we got the wonderful, the ever-present Express. Express really helps us condense our code so we can just focus on building out the API. Like if you look at your Express code, you're not worried about HTTP. You're not worried about how the server is listening for those requests, and it just comes out the box. It just knows how to do that. We do app.get, app.post, app.put, app.delete, and we let Express handle all the heavy lifting, all the HTTP stuff. All that stuff is abstracted away from our view. And the only thing we have to worry about is like what our code does in response, right? Is what we do in response. And so that's the beauty of Express, is that we could sit here and sling this code all day long and it would work. But as we start to add complexity, as we start to get apps that do more and more, we don't want to be in this muck. We want to have nice, clean app.get, app.post, app.put, app.delete, and really focus in on the logic of what needs to happen. Right? All right. So that's how the internet works. If you have not read Zell's amazing work, you're missing out. This is a quote from Zell's REST API tutorial. An API is a set of rules that allow programs to talk to each other. The developer creates the API on the server and allows the client to talk to it. That's what we're doing. We're building out this CRUD API, and we're going to let client-side devices talk to it. Cool. I keep saying the word CRUD, and CRUD is just a wonderful word that we used when we're talking about pretty much the most generic web apps. Pretty much every web app you can think of really is just a CRUD app. I mean, of course, there are like other ones that aren't fully CRUD, but like most of them are. Think of any like social media app. It's really just CRUD over and over and over again. We're either creating something, like we're making something. We're either getting something. We're either changing something, or we're like removing something. And so the beautiful thing here is that once you understand how to create, how to read, how to update, how to delete, you can build whatever you want. You build whatever you want. Now, there are many different types of APIs that you can build. There are many different standards and formats to build an API. REST is the version that we're using right now. And so if you click on this link, this is a link. You click on the link, it'll take you to Zell's article on what a REST API is and gives you all the nitty gritty details. And so definitely recommend clicking on that link if you're like, what does this REST thing mean? All right. Creating, reading, updating, deleting. We have some other pieces that we're going to need to build our application. All right. We're going to need some other things if we're going to build a fully featured web application. All right. We got our CRUD API that we're going to build, like the code that listens to the requests and figures out what it needs to do to respond. That's the CRUD API. We got that. The other piece we're going to need is a database, a place to store stuff, right? We want people to be able to add stuff and for it to persist, right? We want to be able to make sure that we can add stuff, get stuff out, and have a place to put our data. So we need a database to do that. The database we're starting off with, right? The database we're starting off with is MongoDB. The reason I start all my students off with MongoDB is because if you understand objects, and we spent, a month and a half on objects. If you understand objects, you understand how MongoDB works. Trust me, you do. It might not feel like that, but you do. All MongoDB does is it builds out collections of data. And those collections have documents inside of them. Those documents are just objects. Right? It's just objects. So you know what objects come with. You know that objects can have properties and methods and all that good stuff. Well, our objects here are going to be a bunch of key value pairs, a bunch of properties and values. Right? That's all we need to worry about for right now. Right? That's all we need to worry about for right now. that we just have some keys and some values, some things that are going into a collection of like data. Eventually, we're going to have lots of collections. We're going to have a collection for our users. We're going to have a collection for our wrappers. We might even enable you to like comment on a wrapper's name. And so then you would have a collection for all your comments, right? If you know how to use objects, you can use Mongo. The other really cool thing about Mongo is that you don't really have to learn a fully featured querying language. Like you don't have to learn like another language to like go in and get the stuff that you want. If you know how to use methods, like if you know how to use functions, right? If you can use functions, you can get the stuff out of the database that you want and put the stuff in that you want. And it's really just like easy to read. Insert one, delete one, sort, right? There are all these methods that we get when we use Mongo that make it really easy to talk to and use that database. And so instead of having to learn a whole other language, you can use the methods you already know how to use because you know how to work with objects, right? And you can have an easy to remember syntax for getting stuff out, putting stuff in, and taking it from there. Now, as we progress, we're going to add other databases to our repertoire, mainly Postgres, just so that you can have a broader range for when you start applying for jobs. I have the devilish task of preparing you for any potential opportunity you might have. So a lot of times people ask, Leon, why do you teach older stuff? Because there's a good chance my students are going to find themselves at a job that doesn't use any of the new stuff. And they can't be a fish out of water. They got to know how to use it. So a lot of the stuff that we use at the beginning might be stuff that as we start to refine, we start to add over the next couple of weeks, might change, right? Cool. EJS. This seems to be the biggest sticking point for the most folks. So I want to make sure that we have a good idea of what EJS is useful for. Okay. We have no idea how many wrappers people are going to input into this application. So we can't write HTML that is static. We can't write HTML that won't ever change. There's no way for me to sit down and have future sight to know all the weird stuff you people are going to enter into this form. I can't hard code it. I need something that is flexible. I need a template. I need a template that I can plug my data into. And once I plug my data into that template, I want to be able to spit out HTML. That's all I want. I want the ability to have a template that I can plug stuff into. And when I am done plugging stuff into that template, I want it to give me HTML so that I can respond with that HTML. Next week is the sponsored one. So I need something that's a template, right? And so the templating language I am using is EJS. We can do that as a community goal. if the community goal reaches it, we'll do it. Cool. So all EJS, all EJS is a template. We're going to plug our data into that template, and that template is going to spit out HTML. We want to respond with HTML. When we go to our second favorite website, to see this baddie right here, don't know what her name is. When we go to our second favorite website to come to neopets.com, we have made a request. We have made a request to Neopets, and we have demanded some files back. We have demanded back some HTML. Then once we get that HTML back, we're going to ask for CSS. We're going to ask for JavaScript. We're going to ask for all these things. And our server has to be able to handle all those requests. Now, the problem is we can't think through all the HTML we would need because we're going to plug in an infinite number of wrappers to our application. So we use EJS as a template that will then generate HTML. And just like Neopets sent us the HTML, well, our application is going to send us HTML. For us to be seeing this page right now, Neopets had to send some HTML to our device. It had to send us some CSS. It had to send us some JavaScript. That's all EJS is doing for us. EJS is simply saying, all right, let's plug all of our data in, and then we're going to spit out HTML. Then we respond with that HTML. Why do I need a template though? Why not a simple HTML to start that will fetch whatever data it needed? Well, how do you plug that data into HTML? You could write client-side JavaScript that could do it, right? You could write a bunch of JavaScript that listens for requests and it like gets data and then like dynamically plugs it into a website, right? You could do that all client-side if you wanted to, right? But a templating language is just easier for right now. Our goal, I got you, Kat. Our goal is to just respond with HTML. So instead of doing something complex, we can just use a templating language. EJS is simple. If you know HTML and you know JavaScript, you can use EJS. And the cool thing is that we can generate any type of HTML that we want. Does the EJS replace the client-side HTML stuff? Yes. All your .html files are no longer needed. Our EJS will handle all the HTML that we need. If you can do EJS, you can definitely figure out all the other ones too. They're just different languages, right? Yeah. Cool. All right. So looking at EJS, you're gonna notice some information here. When you need blocks of code, right? Like when you need blocks of code, you have the caret opens and the modulus. When you have individual pieces of data or individual pieces of code, you do the modulus and the equal sign. That's it. So larger blocks, caret modulus, individual pieces, modulus equal sign. There's slightly more nuance to that, but that's kind of the start. That's all you really need to know to get started with it. EJS is its own like templating language. And so there's a lot of other things you can throw into the mix here and like plug and play, but that's kind of it. Yeah. When I write the modulus equal sign, it always highlights the caret in red. Make sure your other stuff is closed. Like if you have another block somewhere, make sure it's closed. Sometimes you'll see that. Cool. All right, folks. So we needed Express to build our CRUD API. We added MongoDB so that we had a place to store our data persistently. We use EJS as a template. All it's going to do is enable us to take our data, plug it in, so that we can respond with HTML. Right? Our client-side devices. When we're on Domino's.com on our mobile phone, we ask for HTML from the server. When we're on Neopets.com, right, we've asked for HTML to be sent to us. Well, when somebody uses our wrap application they have asked for some HTML when they hit enter, when they type in that URL. And we have to serve up that HTML. The problem being, we don't know what's going to be in it from the start. So we use a template to generate it, and then we respond with what comes back from that template. Reggie, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Oh boy. Let's keep going, folks. All right. So here's what the application looks like. Oh yeah, y'all thirsty. All right, I see y'all. Imran, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Kev, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. 1, 2. Yash, thank you for the hydration. Shadi, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Funny, thank you for the hydration. Niza, thank you for the hydration. Rezo, thank you for the hydration. Kat, thank you for the hydration. All right, well. Mattias for the hydration. Taking me back to my rugby days. All right. That was the chug. We got a lot of other hydrations that came in here. Hold on. Let me say thank you to everyone. We had... Oh, wow. You all went ham. Kat, thank you for the hydration. Matt, Pasta Tofu, Miriam, Scott, Bomb, My Back Hurts, Winter, Lawnball, Jimmy. Thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Bugaboo, Count the Shells. Both thank you for the stretching. You know it's not that kind of stream, folks. You need to get those channel points up. Y'all didn't time that well, though. We got a break coming up. Oh, yeah. We got a break coming up. So I'm just going to pee during the break. Y'all got. Y'all thought you came to get, but you got. Because I'm just going to go to the bathroom during the break. Let's do it again after break. You come back from break and I've turned off the hydration channel point redemption. Just in case, exactly, just in case the jabronis thought they came to get. They gonna get got. Sold out. I don't care. I'd rather you spend the points and so that way you don't hit OnlyFans. Let's keep it real. The hydration is just a trap. A thirst trap? Maybe. New option, make Leon walk off screen for 2 minutes. Need to play this smart. Alrighty, folks. Here's our application. Here is our application. We have our client-side device. Our client-side device makes those requests. That's a good question. Why is our index.ejs under views and not public? We're going to put all of our files that get generated, like all of our HTML that's going to be generated and respond with, into our views. So basically every main page of our site will be a view. And then we do them all in EJS so that we can add stuff into them. So we could have a hard-coded website where we hard-code all of our HTML and that's all in the public folder. But we're going to take a stance where every main page should be its own view. And this comes from an idea called MVC, or Model View Controller. It's an archetype decision that we're going to make. Not right now. In a week or two, we'll get to that decision. And we're going to start separating out our code into these different chunks. And one of the things we're going to separate out is into the views, to see we're going to separate out into just the stuff that we're going to see, the stuff we're going to interact with, right? And so we don't put it in the public folder because we want it to be dynamic. We want to be able to generate it on the fly and then respond with that generated HTML. If we just had some hard-coded HTML that we know was never going to change, technically we could put that in our public folder and it would work. But going forward, all of our things people see will be EJS, just to keep it together, to keep our views together, to keep the things that people are going to see together. Yeah. Do we have this code somewhere? Yes. On our Discord channel, !Discord, you agree to our rules, and we have a follow-along materials channel. There's every single thing that you need on that channel. And it includes the GitHub URL that we're using for tonight. Because you could think of it like that. Basically, we're going to have some files that are static that won't change. So things that we don't have to generate dynamically, like our CSS files or our JavaScript files, all those go in the public folder. How common is hard-coded HTML in building web applications nowadays, or are they most built with EJS? A lot of sites will use some way of dynamically building HTML. Now, there's two camps. Some people do all the building server side. Some people do the building client side. It depends on your school of thought here. For all the applications we build going forward over the next couple weeks, we are going to use EJS. We won't hard code any HTML. Every single view, every single page somebody sees or goes to will be generated from EJS. Yeah. And it's just about being consistent. Pretty much all the major web applications that you see are using some sort of templating behind the scenes. Yeah. There's yeah. Cool. Let's keep moving, folks. So we have our whole application here. We have our browser, which is a program running on our client-side device, and that browser enters in a URL. As soon as they hit enter on that URL, a request is sent from the client-side device to our server. The beautiful thing about our server is we have some code that we have written that hears that request. And when it hears that request, it can do some stuff. Right now, when our server hears a GET request, it goes to our Mongo database. It finds our collection of wrappers, and it finds every individual wrapper. If we look at my Mongo Atlas, you can see on my version, not the one that's connected to the interwebs with all of you hooligans, you can see mine just has 3 lovely documents in here, right? So when my API asks for all the documents, you're going to have 3 documents that are there. I don't know why Americans do this. We do this. This is so much harder than this. What? Why do we do this? Why are we taught this in school? This is so much easier. Every American does this. So much easier. Blowing your minds out here. I'm sitting here struggling to do 3. God dang school. All right. So we have 3 documents that are here. We're going to go ahead. Thank you. Finally, someone said it. We have 3 documents. Those documents, all that data, we want to be able to respond with all this data, but we need to plug that data into our template and get some HTML that we can respond with. So the data comes from our Mongo database. It gets piped into EJS. EJS takes all of that data, builds some HTML, and then we respond with that HTML back to the browser. So there's a couple steps here. The user hits enter on a URL. That request makes it to our server. We've written some code that hears that request. Once that request is heard, we go to our database. We find all the documents that we need to find. We hand all that data off to EJS. EJS spits out the HTML, and we respond with that HTML to the browser. Now, this seems difficult. I know it does. I know the first couple of times you see this, it's hard. It's weird to figure out all these jumps and really understand what's happening, right? All right. It's hard for us to understand what's happening here. And so we're going to spend time breaking down each of the requests, the get, the post, the put, delete. But it's really just a few jumps. And so we'll hang on through these jumps. It's just a few. And we've reviewed it once before. We're going to review it again today. We're going to see some new stuff today. We're going to review it again on Thursday. We're going to see some new stuff on Thursday. We're going to review it again on Sunday. So we're getting our spaced repetition in. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. There's a few jumps we have to understand, right? As we jump through them, don't get hung up on the syntax. Don't get hung up on the code. Try and understand like why we're making these jumps, right? Remember, our client-side device makes requests. We've written some code called our API that can hear those requests and has all the code we need to do to generate a response. Sometimes we're going to talk to a database. Sometimes we're going to hand information off to a templating language. Sometimes you already know what we're going to respond with and we're going to send it back. Sometimes we hear a request and we have to remove something from the database. Sometimes we're going to hear a request and we have to update something in the database. And that's what our API is going to do. The API is going to enable us to hear all these different requests and know what to do. Cool. Cool. All right. Chat, how do we make post requests in our application? What about our application is a post request? Yeah, it's the form. The form is going to be our post request. All right, so let's talk about this post request then. Cool. So we have our client-side device. And on our client-side device is a form. I'm going to label the form something easy. I'm going to label the inputs inside of this form as A and B. And then we have a button that we're going to go ahead and click, like the submit button. As soon as I click submit, we have made what kind of request, chat? As soon as I submit my form, the form that I have, what type of request have I made when I submit that form? I have made a post when I submit the form. We can actually look at our code and see. If we look at the code, we can see that my form has the post method. So that's how I know that it's making a post. Cool. All right, so my form has made a post. What code running on my server hears that post request? What is that code called that hears that post request? Yeah. So I have a server. And that server has some code running on it that we're going to call our API. And my code hears the post. So we have this lovely app.post. And how many forms can my application have? Right now, my application only has one form. But how many applications could this form actually have? As many as I wanted, right? So how do I distinguish one form and its post from another form and its post? Well, if we look at the code, you can see that this form has the action add wrapper, right? This form has the action add wrapper. So I'm going to make my route add wrapper. That's how I'm going to distinguish between one form or one post and another type of post. Izzy, thank you for the hydration. I have some coffee from like earlier this morning, so thank you for the old coffee hydration. D3NAF A, thank you for spending all of Jeff Bezos's hard money. We got to knock Bezos down a few pegs. You know, they're eating a little too much. We all got to eat too. You know, and they're eating a little too much. So I appreciate the spending of all of Jeff Bezos's hard-earned money. Why'd I do another sip? I don't know. That's not bad. I like cold coffee. I'm not gonna lie. I like cold coffee. All right. You don't know what nasty is, folks. Do y'all know what shooting in the boot is? Y'all never had to shoot the boot, have you? Mm-mm. Shooting the boot was a weekly occurrence. All right. So, we submitted a form. So it's a tradition for a lot of things, but specifically in rugby, after we like have our matches, we typically like revel at post matches. There's lots of eating, drinking, having fun, and there's lots of songs that we sing. And if you mess up during one of the songs, especially as you start to get a little bit more tipsy, sometimes you have to shoot the boot, which is where you take your drink, pour it in the boot, what you're wearing in, and chug it. There are different versions of this, but that's what I'm talking about. All right. So we had a form. We submitted the form. And we submitted the form. We made a post. We have some code running on our server that can hear that post. And it was our API code. And we said, well, there could be lots of different kinds of posts. There could be lots of different forms that are submitted. How would we differentiate one post from another? And it's with the route that we see here. Cool. So the code running on our server, the API, right, that heard that post is then going to do some stuff. Chat. When our API hears the post request, what are some things that our application has to do? We've just sent some data, right? We made this post. We sent the stuff from the form, and we want to do something with this data. What should we do with this data? Yeah. I got some of this data. I'm going to send it to the database. I'm just going to store the data in a database. So the cool thing is I can run a very simple bit of code that is insert one. So if we go ahead and we look at my code here, I have this code here called insert one. And all insert one does is enable me to put something into the database. So what I am going to do is I am going to do dot insert one, and I can put whatever I want as an object into the database. Remember, Mongo is just storing documents, and documents are just key value pairs. They're just objects, right? And so the cool thing is I can say whatever I want. I can say zebra equals request dot body dot a, and I can also do unicorn equals request dot body dot b. So what's going to happen here is I am going to insert a new document into my Mongo collection, And that document is going to have a zebra property and a unicorn property. And the value that zebra is going to have is whatever was in this input. And unicorn is going to have whatever was in this input. And where this comes from is that when we are making a post, there is a heck of a lot of data that's being sent back and forth. Right? When we make any type of request, there's a lot of data that's being sent back and forth. I'm going to show it to you in a second. There's a lot of data that's being shown back and forth. And the cool thing is, when we make a post, there's a part of that data that's being sent to the server called the body. And the body is going to have everything that was in this form. So then I can start picking the pieces out of the form that I want. I can say whatever was in the input of A, store that in zebra. And whatever was in the input of B, store that in unicorn. So that when I look at my database, there's going to be a collection. And in that collection, I'm going to have a document. And the document's going to have zebra of A and unicorn of B. And all that's saying is when we make a post, we're sending that data. Our API is set up to grab that data from the request. We can grab that data that was sent as part of the request from the body of the request. Basically, when we made this post, we sent everything that was in this form along with the request. And I can pull that stuff out. Before, we used something called body parser. Body parser would enable us to get in there and pull everything out. Well, now the cool thing is that Express has that built in. And so we have these wonderful 2 lines of code that enable us to look at any of the requests that are being sent back and forth. But that's all our post did. Our post just took whatever data was coming in and put it into our database. And then once we were done, the last thing we said to post was what? Chat, what was the last thing we told our post request to do? We just told it to reload the page. Because we know when we reload the page, we know that it's going to make a GET request. And that GET request is going to do a whole other series of new code. Now, those steps that we just talked through are difficult, right? The steps we just talked through are difficult. At first glance, it's not going to make sense. We're going to see it again. We're going to look at the code behind it. We're going to make it work. You're going to play with it. So don't get concerned if it doesn't make sense at the first glance. You got to put in the effort to figure out how these jumps are happening. We're going to review it. We're going to see the code, and we're going to work through it together. So our API that we're building here, the CRUD API that we're building here, is listening to all different kinds of requests. Gets, posts, puts, deletes, and it decides what to do. Sometimes it talks to the database. Sometimes it doesn't. It's up to us to code what we want it to do. All right. We are at the top of the hour, so we are going to go ahead and take our break. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock here. When we come back, we're going to look at get, we're going to look at put, we're going to be able to update stuff, and we're going to look at delete. We're walking through it all together. We're taking our time, and then we're going to see the code. So let's go ahead and put 5 minutes on the clock here. Please take your break. I'm going to run some ads so that you actually take a break. Haha. And anybody that's new joining us doesn't have to sit through the ads. So 5 minutes on the clock. Let's put some lovely break music on. Cool. And I will see you all in 5 minutes. I'm going to run some ads real quick. When we get back, we'll run the raffle. So we'll run the raffle when we get back. See y'all in 3 minutes. I am actually going to take a break myself because you all made me hydrate. Be right back. Burb. Oh yeah. Hope you're enjoying your break. I'm gonna drink the rest of this old coffee. It's tasty, actually. Let me set up that mass raffle real quick too. We'll do the mass raffle when we come back. Oh yeah, that mask is fire. Let's go. Okay. Sorry, folks. I'm setting up the raffle. Please take your break. Go. Hydrate. Do what you got to do. Still got a minute left. Come on back. Remember, be healthy. All right. Set it up. When we come back, we'll do the raffle. All right. It's the real Johnny Cakes with the which one was that? That was mock interview redemption. Go ahead and send me a mod mail on Discord for the mock interview. Send me a mod mail on Discord, please. What job position should we be looking for to apply for? We don't apply, we get recommended around these parts. And we're looking for any entry-level software engineering role. The raffle's not open yet. I opened it real quick and then shut it. So you shouldn't be able to apply yet, don't worry. Twitter tips on finding people to follow. Find a post that's tech related. So type in like Node Boston or something like that, and then look at all the people that are following the Node Boston event, or people that have retweeted or liked it. That's a twofold bump, because you get people that like actually like and retweet stuff, and you find people in that area. So look for a popular post that's like a specific area in tech, and then follow the people that are there. Got the stream pumping through my soundbar and a sub. This song bumps. I agree. All right, Bobby Lynn, go ahead and send me a mod mail for that resume review as well. Come on back, folks. Hope you had a good break. Hope you had a wonderful break. We got a few more things to talk about. We're gonna look at some new code tonight. Get that update working. All right. Real Johnny Cakes? Yeah, we can. No worries. Just go ahead and let me know when you're ready. Alrighty, folks. Let's go ahead and do this raffle. Once again, the rules for the... It's time to get serious. The rules for the raffle is if you opened the newsletter before class started and filled out the secret form, then you can enter the raffle. If you enter the raffle and you win, but you weren't in that form before class started, I ban you from everything. You're banned from Twitch, you're banned from Discord, and I will not lose a single... I'll be happy to do it. I'll be excited to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the raffle. Go ahead and enter if you have filled out the form, the secret form, before class started. I'll leave it open for a good 30 seconds or so. Give folks a few more seconds to get back here from after class, from after the break, I mean. Cold coffee just hits different. Sipping tea and watching a band come up. Back from the dog walk. Hey, I hope it went well. That's a good way to take a break. That's how you take a break, folks. Get that dog walk in. All right. 10 seconds. I'm closing the raffle. And closing. I'm going to pick a winner here. It's Noda with the win. All right, it's Noda. Let's make sure you were in that form, though. I'm itching for a ban. Let's see. All right, they're in here. I see them on the list. All right, you got in here. You're good. Enjoy the mask. Make sure you click that link to redeem it. That's actually a fun idea. We should do math.random ban or sticker. Ban or sticker. Ban Tuesdays. Yeah. You can volunteer. We'll do it live. You either get banned or you get a sticker. We can do it. Maybe it won't be like a permanent ban, but like ban for like a week or something like that. Do like a big package, like a big one for banner. OnlyFans are banned. Yes. Yes. All right. So here we go. We can do at like 250,000 channel points. At like 250,000 channel points, we can make it so like you can YOLO and get an OnlyFans or a ban. And that's the only option. And it's a permanent ban too. From Twitch and Discord. Gone. So here's the thing you don't know. I love the bet. I love to bet on the wildest of stuff. My students at RC know this about me. I used to bet on bottles into trash cans for different things, like all the time. Uh, and so I am like really jazzed about this idea. All right, we're gonna Khadija, hey, what's up? How you doing? They know for real. I love me some bets. All right. Let's get back into it, folks. All right, so let me go ahead and chill the music here for a second. Oh, I'm excited to see you. Hope you're doing well. Alrighty. Chat. When did I make a read request? When do we make read request here? What's a read request? A get request. Yeah, there's like two big ways that we've seen a read or a get request. Either when we typed in the URL or when we hit refresh, right? And so the read request is probably the easiest of the four that we've seen so far, because we have our app.get, and the route is whatever page we're on. So some folks get confused when they see that /. All that / means is that we are on the main page, the main route, right? And when our server hears that app.get, we got to do some stuff. We got to go to the database. We got to find our collection called wrappers. And once we find all the documents, right? Once we find all the documents, we have a bunch of objects. And the only data structure that we've really seen that's good at holding a bunch of other stuff is Bill Gates' toaster, right? The only thing that we've seen that's really good at holding a bunch of other stuff is that array. So the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to turn it into an array. So now we have an array of stuff that came back from our database, an array of these objects with all the data in it. And once we have that data, we send it to our EJS. And our EJS is able to take in all that data and generate an HTML file. We then respond with that HTML file. All right. So we have this last line of code here that's typically a response dot render. And this render method is what uses our EJS. It's what uses our EJS to generate HTML. The result of this render will be an HTML file. Not an EJS file, an HTML file. And then we're going to respond with that HTML file back to the client that made the request, back to where they entered in the URL, back to where they hit refresh. We're going to respond with that HTML. Cool. So we've seen posts, we've seen get, but we haven't seen update. Let's take a look at delete real quick, and then we're going to come back to update. Let's review the stuff we already know how to do, and then we're going to look at the new. All right, let's go over the stuff we know how to do, and then we're going to look at the new. So, Mayu Dreamstar with the Pokemon card. Oh boy. Let's do it live. I'm feeling the Pokemon card. Let's go ahead and pull it up. There you go. All right, here's our current list of Pokemon cards. Let's go ahead and open up the inspector. Let's do a math.seal. Let's throw a math.random in here. And we're going to times it by... Sorry. We're going to times it by, how many are we at right now? 74. All right, 74. let's go ahead. Let's plug in 74 here. All right, Mayu, here you go. 3, 2, 1. 58. All right, let's see what we got at 58. Ooh, this is a nice card. Oops, sorry, you can't see it. Riolu, that's a good card. Good card. Good upgradability. Good path there. Get to your Lucario. Okay. So that is now yours. We are going to remove this from the list on my end. The first round of like all of the big deliveries has gone out, so cards should start showing up soon. So you should see these coming in the mail soon. Alrighty. Thank you for redeeming the Pokemon card. Alrighty. So we saw post, we saw get, I'll frame it. And now we're going to see delete. So once again, chat, how did we make a delete request on our application here? How did we make a delete request? Oh, yeah. We made a fetch. We made a fetch. And the reason we had to make a fetch is because we're going to make that request in response to a click. So when we click on this trash can, the only thing that can hear the click on the trash can is what, chat? What is the only thing that can hear a click? We are on the client side. We are running in the browser. What is the thing that can hear the click? It is our client side JavaScript. We have an event listener. And that event listener hears the click. And when it hears the click, it makes a fetch to our server. Just like we made fetches to any of the APIs we saw. We made fetches to NASA. We made fetches to Dog CEO. We made fetches to all these wonderful places. But now we're going to make a fetch to our own server here. All right, we're going to make a fetch to our own server. And that server is going to hear the request. It's going to hear an app.delete. And once it hears an app.delete, it's going to be like, well, what route is this delete request coming from? So we got to look at our code. If we look at our main.js, you can see the route we are using is delete wrapper. So we're going to go back and we're like, all right, it's delete wrapper. We can see that it is a delete fetch. That's all fine and dandy. So let's come back here. It's going to be delete wrapper. Cool, that's the route. And when we hear delete wrapper, what we're going to do, right, what our API is going to do is it's going to delete one thing. So it's going to go to our database. It's going to find our collection of wrappers. And we're going to use this nice method, delete one. And the thing that we're going to delete is whatever matches what's inside this object. Pie, that's hilarious. So we can put whatever we want inside this object. It just has to match a document in our database, right? Whatever we put inside of this object, right? Whatever we put inside there has to match one document in our database. And if it matches, we delete it. We delete that whole document from our database, right? Which delete wrapper did you create first? It doesn't matter as long as you're not trying to run the application. I typically create my API first, but that's kind of up to you, right? So the main.js triggered the fetch. It sent that delete request to our server. Our API heard the request, went to the database, deleted a document that matched, All right. Deleted a document that matched. And then what did we do? We refreshed the page. And when we refresh the page, it's a new get. We go back to the database, but now there's one less thing in the database. So the magic of deleting is that we have one request that actually removes something from the database. And then we had a whole other request that gets data from the database, but there's just one less now. So that's the CRUD coming out. We have a route that creates stuff, and we have a route that reads stuff, and we have a route that deletes stuff. They all do something different, and we use them in tandem to build our application. Right? Why did a fetch work here even without a URL? Because it is a URL. It is still coming across the interwebs as a request, right? All right. So we've been able to create, been able to read, we've been able to delete, but the last thing we want to be able to do now is update. And so updating is going to be a little weird. What we want to do with updating is we want to find something in our database and then change a property on it. So in our database, I started adding something new. When I created or I made my post, not only did I post in their stage name and their birth name, I also threw in a new property called likes. And I started that likes at 0. So when I did my post, when I did my create, not only did I put into the documents a stage name, a birth name, I also gave them a likes property as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the atlas here. You can see my Mongo atlas here. I know it's a little small. Has a stage name, a birth name, and a likes. So the first thing I did is when I am creating, when I am posting, I am not just hard coding stage name, birth name. I'm also passing in this other property called likes. And so what's going to happen when I do my update is that my update is going to change the likes from 0 to 1, and then from 1 to 2, and then from 2 to 3. Yeah, Zippy. Mongo Atlas is just MongoDB, but stored in the cloud on a different server. Right? All right. So let's go ahead and talk through how this is going to happen. Let's look at our application here. I'm not going to use the one that you're all playing with. I want to use my local one. I'm going to click this thumbs up, and you can see that it's 2 now. A lot had to happen from me clicking the thumbs up and us seeing the 2. Chat, what is the only thing that can hear this client side click? What is the only thing, chat? If you're here, I know it's getting late. We're 2.5 hours in. Tell me, what's the only thing that can hear the click? Go ahead, type me an answer, please. I know you're listening. I see you. Just give me an answer. You can just copy and paste what everybody else is doing. Throw it in chat for me. I'll take Smurf. I'll take Event Listener. I'll take our client-side JavaScript. I'll take our main.js. Any of these count. Beautiful. The only thing that can hear our click is our client-side JavaScript. Alone 2 just really copy and pasted everything. That's hilarious. All right. The only thing that can hear that click is our client-side JavaScript. So, what do you think is in our client-side JavaScript? What type of thing do we think we're going to put? We saw it with the delete. What is our client-side JavaScript going to have another of now? Another event listener and another fetch. Let's look at that client-side JavaScript. All right, here we go. Here are me selecting all the thumbs up. And here is me adding an event listener to every single thing that has the thumbs up. Cool. Here's the event listener for the thumbs up. What I'm going to do is when somebody clicks the thumbs up, I am going to grab their name, their birth name, and the number of likes that is in the DOM. Now, like I said, this is some vomity code where the source of truth right now is in the DOM. Hold on. All right. So what I'm going to do is when somebody clicks that thumbs up, let's go back and look. When I click this thumbs up, I'm going to grab Chance the Rapper, which is their stage name. I'm going to grab Chancellor, which is their birth name. And I'm going to grab 2. I'm literally going to grab that text out of the DOM. I'm grabbing that text, right? I'm grabbing that text, right? The stage name is going to be stored in S name. The birth name is going to be stored in B name. And the number of likes is going to be stored in T likes. I've made up these names. They don't matter. It's just so that you can see down here, I am using the stage name, the birth name, and the likes. I'm using funny names so you can see what pieces connect, right? And what we're going to do is we are going to make another fetch, just like we did the fetch for the delete, except this time, look, the method is put. The method is put this time, and the route is add 1 like. Add 1 like. So we would expect in our API to see add 1 like and a put. And if we go back and we look at our API here in the server.js, we're going to see that. Here is the add 1 like route, and it is a put. Now, what we're going to do is, since we want this number to update from 2 to 3, we're going to tell it to do that in the database. We're going to go into the database and change this number from 2 to 3. Let's look. We go to our database. We find the wrappers collection, and we have this really nice method called update1. This is beautiful. All it does is looks in our Mongo database, looks in our wrappers collection, finds one thing that we're going to update. And the document it's going to update is whatever matches this object here. Cool. So we're going to find a document where the stage name matches stage name S. We're going to find a document where birth name matches birth name S. And we're going to find a document. It's Sabotage. Hey, thank you for the 6 months of Bezos's bucks. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. It's funny, it blocks out the code. And we're going to find a document not only where the stage name matches, the birth name matches, but also where the number of likes match. Now, you're saying, hold up a minute, Leon. Where the hell what is request body stage name S? What is request body birth name S? What the heck is request body likes S? Baba Yaga, thank you for the Prime. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here. Is that a play on what's the name of the movie? John Wick? Is that a John Wick play? I'm curious. Yeah. All right. All right. So now you're saying, well, wait a minute, Leon. I don't get this. Where the heck is this request body stage name S coming from? Well, we got to go back to where the request came from. The request came from the main.js. It came from this fetch. And look, with this fetch, we sent along something called stage name S. We sent along something called birth name S. and we sent something along called like s, right? It sent along a request body that had all this information in it. So we sent all that information with our request. And we know that stage name S is just the name that was in the DOM. We know that the birth name S is just the birth name that was in the DOM. And we know that likes S was just the number of likes that were in the DOM that we got up here. Hey, indifferent. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Rocks, Benty, Trey, Cheddar, Destro, all getting these lovely subs. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Cool. We sent all this information along. All right. This was all sent. Oh, we did hit a hype train. Thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for pushing that along. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's wild, Izzy. I appreciate you. Indifferent. Support means a lot. All right. So we sent all this information along with our request. So when we see request body stage name S, it's actually just the stage name that we see here, Chance the Rapper. When we see request body dot birth name S, it's really just Chancellor. And when we see request body dot likes, it's really just the 2 that is here. Now, we're going to go into our database and we're going to find something that matches that. And we see it. We see, all right, in our database, there's something that has Chance the Rapper, Chancellor Jonathan Bennett, and something that has the likes of, well, this is a little old here, the likes of 2. So we found this match. We found the match. We found the match. Why is the last letter capitalized? Because I made it up. I just wanted it to be easier to see where stuff was connected. The capitalization, the names don't matter. In fact, most of the time you're going to use the same name in all 4 spots. It's just really hard to see the connection when they're all named the same thing. Right? The only thing that actually mattered here, the only thing that has to be consistent is this one right here. The only thing that has to stay the same is stage name, because that's the property that's in the database. Right? Birth name has to stay the same because that's the property that's in our document. Likes has to stay the same because that's the property that's in our document. But this stuff right here is just coming from our request, from the fetch. And so I named everything different, right? Just so that you could keep a little bit better tabs on what's going on. Anonymous Cheer, hey, thank you for the 300 bits. I appreciate that. Cool. Now, once we find a match in our Mongo database that matches all 3 of these things, right? Once we find a match, and we do, if we look at our Mongo database, this document matches all 3 of those things. It has the same stage name, the same birth name, and the same number of likes. We found that match. The next thing we do once we found the match is we set the number of likes to be whatever was sent plus 1. So we know that the request body.likes was 2. So we wind up doing 2 plus 1, which is 3, and our likes are set to 3. So really, whenever we are updating, like, let's get the code off the table here. Let's come back. Let's focus up together. I know this is hard. When you are updating, you're really just doing one thing. You are finding a matching document in your collection and changing something about it. That's all you're doing. You're just trying to find a match in your database. And when you find a match, you're going to change something about it. Now, how you find that match is a lot of steps. We had to click the thumbs up, which Then our JavaScript grabbed the stage name, the birth name, and the number of likes. It made a fetch to our server. Our fetch looked at that request, and it looked at it and said, oh, you sent some data along. I see you have a stage name there. What is that? Is that a birth name? Okay, that's a birth name. And oh, you sent some likes along. Okay, I see that. So that fetch sent a stage name, a birth name, and some likes. Okay, cool. What do you want me to do with this stuff? Oh, you want me to go look in the database and see if there's a match? I can do that. So it went to the database. It found a match. And once it found the match, it tweaked something. It updated something. Right? It updated something from 2 to 3. And then we're done. And then the age-old classic thing is we respond back to the fetch like everything went okay. Tell that page to what, chat? What should we do at the end? We've updated something in the database. What should we tell our application to do? We should tell that sucker to reload. Because when we reload, we're going to make a new GET request. That GET request is going to go to the database. It's going to get new information. But this time, when it goes to get the information, that one document that used to be 2 is now 3. I did it the right way. Watch out. All right. It's going to be 3. So let's go ahead and click and do it live. All right. So I'm going to click 1, 2, 3. All that stuff just happened. Oh, gosh. I messed up. I clicked when you couldn't see it. I'm going to have to click again. All right. Ready? I'm going to click. Because it's going to go from 3 to 4. 1, 2, 3. Look at all that. Ooh, oh, y'all saw something fancy there. Woo. Oh, yes. Oh, you saw that, right? You saw what happened there? Oh, look at that. Oh, Chance went from 3 to 4. And my wrappers are sorted. Yeah, you saw that. Look at me go. You saw it. Cool. So I have something special that's in my app.get now. My app.get doesn't just get anymore. We already got. Now we're here to get. And so we went and got, but we sorted it. Which is cool because since it's a database, we get all these like really cool methods that we can do stuff with. So that's a little bit extra sauce here. And so the cool thing is we clicked. When we clicked, we made a fetch to our server. Our server saw that fetch and said, oh, you're sending me some data along with this fetch. You sent me Chance the Rapper as the stage name. You sent me Chancellor Jonathan Bennett as the birth name, and you sent me 3 as the number of likes. Let me go to my database. Hold on. Let me go to my database. Went to the database. I found something down there. I found something that matched. I found it down there. It matched. What do you want me to do with it? You want me to update it? You want me to update it from 3 to 4? I got you. Oh, I'll be right back. All right. Found it. It's updated. Cool. I updated that match we found in the database. Now that we found the match in the database, what should I do? I updated it. You want me to reload the page? I got you. I'm going to reload it. That's somebody else though. That's Mr. Get. I'm Mr. Got. That's Mr. Get. Mr. Get will handle that. He's peeing. There is an escalator in the room. So we went to the database. I love that we lost people because of that. That makes me so happy. People are like, "Fuck this, I'm out." So all we're doing is we're making a fetch. Our server hears that fetch. It goes and looks for a match. Once it finds the match, it changes something about it. And then we tell the page to reload. So here's the code. Don't get hung up on the code. Honestly, I can probably do this from memory because I've typed it out a million times. But for like the first year that I had to use this code, I probably would still forget something. For the first year plus I used this code, I copied and pasted. Let's be real. Don't get worried on like having to know, all right, well, this comma's here and that curly brace. No. You're probably literally just going to copy and paste this when you want to update something. The key pieces here are we're finding the match based on the data we sent from the fetch. Once we find that actual document in the database, we set something about it. We're gonna go ahead and change the likes from what was 3 to 3 plus 1, which is 4. So we do all that. We send back the response that we added a like, and that main.js, the thing it does is reloads. When it reloads, it triggers another get. That get goes and gets the documents again, pipes them into the EJS, generates the HTML, but it was 3, now it's 4. Now, there's some other code here that I just wanted to throw in because I think it's fun to see it. Right now, is there anything that's stopping us from putting in the exact same wrapper multiple times, chat? Is there anything that's stopping me from putting in the wrapper multiple times? No. So what this is going to do is this is going to find the first match. So if there are multiple matches, it's not going to talk to all of them. Right now, this would only affect the first match. Now, do I look from top to bottom or from bottom to top? That's what this is saying. This is saying look in descending order to find the match. And when you find the first one, stop looking and update that one. That's it. That's all that means. Now, this one is fun. This one causes people a lot of pain. You can probably just remove this if you want to, but I want to include it here because I wanted to talk about it, so I didn't forget to talk about it, because this causes people wonderful pain. What this does is it says, wait a minute, if I don't find the match, go ahead and create that document. That's all it means. It's like, if I don't find a match up here with this update in 1, just go ahead and create a new document that has all that information. And so why this can cause a lot of pain is because you might have something that's off by like a character. And you're like, why is my database creating all these new documents? It's probably because you have upsert set to true. It's not finding a match here for whatever reason, and it's going ahead and plugging something new in. So I wanted to include that in case you're looking at anybody else's code, because I definitely, people like freak out. They're like, why is my database, like, does somebody have access to my database? Are they adding new stuff? Nah, you just didn't have a match and you had this set to true. Yeah. Cool. Let's look at that new get, shall we? Let's look at 22 Savage. So if you spam like the upsert, would it just add another? Yeah, it would just keep adding them. For whatever, if it can't find a match, it would just keep adding new documents. Yeah. All right. Let's look at this new get, shall we? Oh, smancy. Look at this new get. Nothing really, there's only one addition here. Oh, we got some hydrations coming in here. I brought in the reinforcements. I'm ready. Alrighty. App Eternal Student, thank you for the hydration. Rezo, thank you for the hydration. Pi, thank you for the hydration. Thank you for the hydration. Cool. Look at this new get, folks. It's new and improved. Look at it. Just look at it. All right. We're going to go to our database. We're going to find our collection wrappers. We're going to find all of the documents. And we're going to sort them based on their likes property. Right? Based on the likes property. So whoever has the most likes, we're going to go from most to least. That's what this -1 is, descending order. From most to least, right? And then just hand them off to the array like normal. So the cool thing is now we go to all of our documents, we get them back in a sorted order based on the number of likes, and then we hand them off to our EJS. So our EJS gets the same data as normal, except now the data is sorted based on the likes property. What? This is come on. It's free real estate, folks. Come on. Yeah, I was brave tossing that. These things ain't cheap. Got it. It's all good. Oh, that emote is fire and different. Rocks free. I'm definitely gonna sub just for that emote. What? That's wild. All right. So to get the sorting, all I did was added the sort method. That's it. So the cool thing is as we progress, we're gonna have these methods that just make our life easy and do a lot of heavy lifting for us. And so it wasn't any like wild thing we had to add. We just added that one method, and now we got sorted data, folks. We can make it so that our app does highest to lowest here. Boom, 5, 4, 3. Look at us go. I gained this sub for your emotes. Okay, bye. Alrighty. So now we have a get. We have a post. We have a put. We have a delete. With our powers combined, we've made a CRUD application. All right. We've made a CRUD application by combining the get, the post, the put, the delete. Right? And so it really is not anything more than this, folks. I know this is hard. I know like you're going to have to spend some time digging through this, really kind of generating like, all right, how is everything connected? But once you understand, right? Once you understand how all these 4 pieces are connected, then that's it, folks. You can build whatever the heck you want. It really is just a little bit of layers on top of these 4 things. And so what I need you to do, I need you to get through that Zell article. And then I need, oh, hello, Mashi. And then I need you, Mashi can open doors, so she just came in. I need you, right? I need you to get through that article, and I need you to spend time with this code. You need to build with it. And so I am tasking with you for the assignment for this week to build a to-do list. A to-do list that is a full stack web application. All the pieces are here. All the pieces for a full stack web application are right here. You can build a to-do list just with the stuff that's on the screen. Hold on. Right now. Just with this stuff, you can build it. So I want you to take some time between now and next class to think through how you're going to set up your API. Think through how you're going to build out your to-do list. Get on the Discord. Maybe talk through with some other folks on Discord. And if I get, let's see, what's a good number? If I get 25 pull requests by Thursday, I'll bring Mashi on cam. We'll bring back the Simba cam. 25 completed pull requests. So it behooves you to get on that Discord and help folks. 25, and we'll bring back the Simba cam, the Mashi cam. All right. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. We got like 5 minutes left before we do our lovely raid and end the stream. And you're going to notice that there's one other difference in this code right here. I have included a process.env.db string. So I have set up environment variables here for me to hold my sensitive data. Okay. I have set up an environment file to hold my sensitive data. The way I like to handle these right now is by requiring a new package called .env. So at the top of my server.js file, I have a .env.config. This is what's saying use this .env and run it. Once you put this on your file, you now have access to a new file I created called .env. And all I did is I put my server link in this environment file. So I put in db string, and it's just a variable, right? It's just a variable. And wherever I see process.env.db string, it's going to use this string right here. So if you look at my code, you can see that I use process.env.db string, and that pulls in that string. The cool thing is you can add that file to your git ignore. I don't, because I wanted you to have the file when you pulled down my code, but you're going to go ahead and put .env into your git ignore. And now you can put all your secrets in here, and your secrets won't go up to GitHub. And you're like, but Leon, if my secrets aren't going to GitHub, how do I get them on Heroku? Well, the cool thing is you can do one line of code to connect the environment variables to Heroku. And so the line of code is in the slides. And here you go. You go ahead and do Heroku, config set, and then db equals and like the actual value. So what this will do is if you run this command, you will have the .env that's running locally, right? So that you can run your app. And if you do this command, Heroku will also have this variable. Now, once we get a little bit further into program, we're going to have something like a difference between like a development build, a production build, and all these fancy stuff. But for right now, if you use the .env package, you have to do your npm install .env -- save, right? Once you install that new package, this one right here, once you install this new package, you can then go ahead and create a lovely .env file that has like this variable and your connection string. You can add that env file to your git ignore. And then if you also want Heroku to have access to that, you can run this lovely line of code here. So that's the way to do it from the command line. All right, it's the way to do it from the command line. You can also do it directly on Heroku. So if you go to Heroku and you go to settings, there's this reveal config vars right here that you can click on. And what that will do is you can just type them in right here if you want it to. You just do the db_string and then the actual string to your MongoDB. It's the same thing. One's using the GUI, one is using the actual terminal. So a lot of folks were asking, Leon, I want to start pushing stuff to GitHub. I'm afraid that I'll do something that'll get me in trouble. Like I'm afraid like I'll post my database or something like that. Use these environment files. It'll help you a lot. Cool. All right, folks. I know today was a lot. I know it was a lot of review. I know this stuff is hard. I know that this stuff doesn't come easy, but we're going to get in our review. We are going to get in our review. We're going to take more time on Thursday to add more stuff on top and to spend more time with this updating, right? All right. We're going to spend more time with this update, but I need you between now and Thursday to play with it, to break it, try the to-do list, see if you can get that going, right? Come with questions on Thursday. Leon, I don't understand this piece. right? I don't understand how this thing is coming together. Come with those questions on Thursday. And then on Sunday, we're doing it all from scratch, from beginning to end over again. Don't let the back end be your downfall. I know this doesn't come easy to everyone. You're going to get there. Put in the work, spend some time with the reading, come with questions. So we are going to do a lovely raid. Let's go ahead and do our raid. And I'm setting it up now. Oh, they're not actually. Let's see. Cool. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and I'm setting up the raid now. Hang around. You need those channel points, right? You need those channel points. Do the raid with us. I'm going to be hanging out there for a little while. Alrighty. Just queuing it up now. I'll see you all on Thursday as well. So, alrighty, here we go. Boom. Queuing up the raid. See you all over there. Have a good rest of your night. Come Thursday. To-do list. Come Thursday with questions. We're going to go through it together. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you all on Thursday. Be well.